The MLM for the Soul channel, and if you've never seen my channel before, then please do check out my first video, because that's where I tell you what exactly MLM for the Soul is, and you can see why I'm doing it and the purpose there. And if you have watched my videos before, please give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you like my videos, leave comments, and also if you have any suggestions, would love to hear your suggestions for future topics. And I try to come up with good ones that I think have some kind of purpose and benefit. And before I begin, I would like to say that may the words and expressions of my mouth and the thoughts and meditations of my heart find favor before you, Hashem, and also some people who I've listened to their words of Torah and have helped me along my path. They are Rabbi Shalom Arush, specifically the Garden of Emunah, and also Rabbi Lazer Brody, who puts out his CDs in English, and also Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, who has a fantastic website, and I highly, highly recommend it. I'm addicted to it. It is divineinformation.com, and also Rabbi Eli Mansour, and I will have links below this video so you can check out those people and see what they have to say. So the topic for today, I call it From the Menial to the Meaningful. I think that's kind of a catchy title. And menial, also meaningless. So meaningless to the meaningful. So what does this mean? Well, the subtitle is we're the people of the book, not the people of the Shuk. The Shuk, people knows, is a Jewish term for the market. So let's start with from the menial to the meaningful. So, you know, when we think of menial things like menial tasks, like, okay, I have to do the laundry, and I have to wash my face, and brush my teeth, and take a shower. Yes, those are kind of menial things, or do the dishes. And the meaningful things would be things that really take you to a higher level in life. And when I say life, from what I've learned from all these other teachers, is I'm talking about life in the next world. So that's where we'll truly have life. This is just the passing through phase, as we say. So that's why a lot of times people say when someone leaves this world, they pass over, like the holiday Passover, no pun intended, but you're passing over into a different life. You're still living because we are alive. Our soul is what gives us life. The body doesn't give us life. It's just basically the exterior, the shell, as I like to call it. Like, let's say like an animal has a shell, and that's what protects it from the outside forces, and inside is the animal, such as the turtle. Like a turtle can actually retreat into itself to protect itself. And other animals do that too, where you find shells on the beach, and the animal actually lives inside that shell. That shell protects them while they're in there. So, so the meaningful, what is meaningful? I mean, what is meaningful to you? I know what's meaningful to me is, you know, finding the truth, living the truth, and also studying the Torah and learning what Hashem wants us to do in this world, and following it and practicing it and teaching it and sharing it. It's so important, because that's how the world was created, through the Torah, through everything that was in there, all the history. And the history finds its way into our life because things seem to keep happening in what we call cyclical patterns. So anything that's going on in the Torah, let's say during the week, a certain parasha that we're reading coming up on Shabbat, it usually has to do with what's going through in the world, because these are patterns. This is Hashem is showing us what is going on in the world and what will be. So everything in the Torah we can learn from. So that's the meaningful. The meaningful things are the things that are going to get you to that place of the world to come where you will be rewarded. So we want to always look at what we're doing and thinking and say, is this really meaningful? Give yourself a few seconds to think about it. Am what I am doing right now, does this have any meaning? Of course, you do the day-to-day grind, as we say, or the menial, the things that you just kind of have to trudge through. But basically, we should focus most of our attention, majority, on the stuff that will create an amazing life for us in the future. Those of us who think that the physical is the be-all and the end-all, it's truly not. And from the people that I actually have had personal friendships with and relationships with that have actually had what we call clinical death, where they have crossed over and then come back. They weren't gone for very long, but that just proves to you that there is another life after this. So, that's very important. That's why I say we're the people of the book, not people of the Shuk, meaning the book is important. The book, the Torah, both the written and the oral Torah is where we get the information from. And a Shuk, you just shop, you get your food. Again, that's kind of like just the everyday, day-to-day stuff. It's not really the important thing to focus on. We need to focus on that, because without it, we wouldn't have a direction in life. And just think about it. Because of our quote-unquote book, like the Muslims call us the people of the book, is because without our book, they would have nothing, because that's what they used as their springboard to say there was another book, which is not true, that there's only one divine book that Hashem wrote. And that is the only one. And those were actually written by people, whereas the Torah was not. The Torah was only written by the one above. Because there's a lot of proofs. And that's why if you want to really learn about proofs with that, you definitely should go to Rabbi Mizrahi's site, like I said, divineinformation.com. He has tons of lectures that give scientific proofs that the Torah is 100% divine. And he has even DVDs you can watch about it called Torah and Science. And once you walk away from that, your probably life would never be the same, because you can't deny it. Once you have that information, if you choose to still go about your life and live menially, then that's your choice. But you already have the information that Hashem expects more from us. Hashem wants us to reach a higher level. Our soul has to do what it's supposed to do in this world to receive its reward in the next world. That's what Hashem actually promised us. That will happen, that we will receive the reward then. So that's why we need to really focus on this now. And if it's something you haven't focused on, start doing it. Start listening to lectures. Start learning what you need to do. There's people who have become Baal Tshuva, who have come back on the path just from listening to lectures and learning the truth. And that's why I keep stressing Rabbi Mizrahi has such a way of sharing the information that is just unbelievable. I can't get enough. So I've gotten a lot of my information that I'm sharing with you through listening to him and some of the other ones, but him is mostly what I've been focused on in my own finding of my journey to, living the Torah life, living the right way, trying at least as best as I can. We all stumble and fall. Hashem knows we're human. He created us. He knows what we're about. He knows what we're doing. He knows that life isn't always so perfect or going to be so perfect. He's the only one that is perfect. So we try to do the best we can to make it meaningful, because with closeness to Hashem, the only way we can have a truly meaningful life is by becoming closer to Hashem. And if we don't come closer to Hashem, then life feels kind of empty. I mean, you can go about doing your this and that and the other, but in the end, is it really going to matter? Like, for example, you could say, well, I like sports, and I like to watch sports, and what's wrong with that? I want to relax. Well, then you don't have to be here as a human being, because the human being has the divine soul. You can be an animal, because animals do sports just better than anyone else. Everything is free for them. They could run faster than anyone. They could jump higher. They can probably throw the ball further and kick the ball further, and they don't have that divine soul. So the point is that at the end of the day, if you say, oh, well, I want to do that and I like to read this kind and that kind, but it has no future purpose. It's not going to serve you in the end. It's not going to give you anything further than just that kind of limited, as I say, limited, let's say, very small, insignificant pleasure that's momentary, whereas the pleasure of the reward in the world to come is endless and unlimited, and it's not something that we can even comprehend, because of course I'm here talking to you. I'm still in this physical world, so I don't really know what that means, but just from hearing it from people who have shared the information from different sources that say that what Hashem says, it'll be endless pleasure that'll go on for eternity. So that's why it's so important to find the meaningful. I mean, even if you're not there yet, slowly try to do it, and it's like you'll see that you don't want to get too far away from it. You always want to go towards it, get closer to it. So that's what we do, is when we try to live our lives and study the Torah and different things like that, that's how we learn to get closer to Hashem. That's why we appreciate Hashem, because we see what He's done and what He's created, and it's just amazing. It's like, so life becomes more meaningful because you feel this connection. It might sound strange because Hashem is not of a human form. You can't put up a picture of Him. There's no such thing. There's no way to shape Him into a form or an image, and yet, it's funny when you think about, oh, I have intuition, like something comes to you. It's not. As I've learned, it's more than intuition. It's actually Hashem is giving you the information. How else do we know what to do? Without the soul, the body is just, I say, like a bag of bones, Like, think about if you ever passed out. Chas v'shalom, it should never happen to you that you pass out. But think about the word. I think I might have said this in another video, but just think about it again. When you say pass out, and it's happened to me, when you pass out, if you're standing up, you will actually fall down. Like, if you ever seen, like, in a movie or a cartoon, like, oh, someone, like, oh, like they all of a sudden they get hot or something and they pass out. They actually fall to the floor. And why do they fall to the floor? Because their soul actually goes out of them. And it might just be for 1 second, like you snap your finger and they're back. And then you hear the stories of people using smelling salts because when you smell it, the soul kind of comes back in. It gets that, sensation, and it returns back into the body. But without that soul, this is just material that has no purpose. Without the soul, you can't speak, you can't see, you can't move. I can't move my hands, I can't blink my eyes, I can't hear, I can't touch. So it won't matter. So when you pass out, that's what happens. There's no matter. There's matter, but the matter cannot do anything by itself without Hashem's energy being in it, and that's what the soul is. It's from Hashem. It's His essence. It's a part of Him that is very holy. So the idea is we want to make it more holy. We want to, be deserving of what we're going to get in the next world, because it's like to just get something for nothing. It feels like you're stealing. Just like if you think about it, when you eat food, you're supposed to say a blessing over your food. You say a bracha, and there's brachas for different things. Even after you go to the bathroom, when you wash your hands, even when you see certain things like a rainbow, or thunder and lightning, or you see, a beautiful, I think like someone who's really beautiful, or like a very holy rabbi, or there's actual blessings that you say because we want to thank Hashem. We don't want to steal from Him, because everything that we see, everything that we have is from Him. So the idea is, if we don't thank Him, then we're stealing from Him. So in that vein, I want to just say that if we all do what Hashem wants and live a more